Madam Speaker, I rise to give support to the measure that is before this Honourable House. Madam Speaker, I want to lend my support to the 2017-2018 national budget, which I can only describe as unassailable, no matter the angle or the perspective from which it is viewed. Because, Madam Speaker, whether we manage public finances or private businesses, as some of the colleagues on the other side do, we must be guided by benchmarks, since that is one of the indicators which determine whether we are attaining our targets. Madam Speaker, this budget comes less than 2 years following the passage of the most destructive natural phenomenon that we have experienced in Dominica, Tropical Storm Erica, which basically wiped out our gross domestic product. Here we are today, Madam Speaker, having registered some 2.8% growth in the economy in 2016. Madam Speaker, by all respects, that is a remarkable achievement. Yeah. And Madam Speaker, the forecast for 2017 and 2018 is 3.1% growth for both years. Madam Speaker, I'm not a student of science, but I recall attending the St. Mary's Academy, and I learned that anything that one throws up must come down. That, Madam Speaker, is the law of gravity. However, Madam Speaker, our friend, the member for the Rosa Central constituency, who hails as an economist, will tell us that in economics, if one is not prudent, there is always the tendency, Madam Speaker, to take on more debt than one ought to. There is always the tendency to engage more employees, like 10,000 jobs in 5 years, Madam Speaker. And then, Madam Speaker, if we think of the then Public Works Department between 1995 and 1999, when it was oversaturated with employees, especially from a West Coast village, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, in a few years down the road, you will have to pay the price, as did our country, following the reckless spending of the United Workers' Party between 1995 and 1999. That's true. Madam Speaker, I listened to the budget presentation by the Honourable Prime Minister, and it's not very common for me to be at a loss for words, but I was definitely at a loss for words to describe the budget presentation, because it clearly demonstrated remarkable wisdom and vision. But, Madam Speaker, when I heard the Honourable Leader of the Opposition in his budget response, his response amplified, Madam Speaker, the wisdom and the vision of the Honourable Prime Minister and Minister of Finance for making provisions to cater for students with special needs. And, Madam Speaker, as Minister for Education, I would want to go one step further to say to the Dominican public, Madam Speaker, that I propose that we include classes for parliamentarians with special needs. Because, Madam Speaker, the response of the Leader of the Opposition shows clearly that there is a deficiency within the opposition, Madam Speaker. They fail to understand what the budget was all about, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, why do I say this? You will note, Madam Speaker, the irrelevance of the parliamentary minority was punctuated by the Leader of the Opposition, the parliamentary representative from the Marigot constituency, when in his budget response, Madam Speaker, he promised Dominicans that within 7 years, the United Workers' Party would build an international airport. Within 3 years, he would get us free medical insurance. And within 3 years, he would provide housing for all Dominicans. And within 6 months, he would ensure that he provides a management structure that would take care of all of our garbage disposal needs. Madam Speaker, we all know that it takes a new administration anywhere between 3 and 5 years to come to grips with effectively managing the country's resources. But Madam Speaker, given the exceptional academic qualifications and cognitive skills of the Leader of the Opposition, we would expect a United Workers' Party administration to do so in a record 33 years. Madam Speaker, 7 years to construct an international airport. Madam Speaker, I want to ask, is this the same United Workers' Party Team Dominica Incorporated, who could not pay public servant salaries between 1995 and 1999? 7 years to build an international airport?
After all, man.
Madam Speaker, you hear Senator Baptiste speaking to the fact that government should build a mass transit system. This is laughable, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a man who is versed in planning. Could it be, Madam Speaker, that the senator is calling on the government to purchase a fleet of 100-seater buses and to ensure that we effectively put out of employment, Madam Speaker, the bus drivers who transport the tourists to his facility? Could it be, Madam Speaker, that when he calls for mass transit system, that he is calling on us to do away with the bus drivers, and the bus drivers of Dominica need to take heed? That is what the United Workers' Party would do to the poor bus drivers of Salisbury and Marigot and La Plaine. Madam Speaker, could it be, Madam Speaker, that the senator, Madam Speaker, is probably thinking of the creation of some mass tunnels underground where we can have a subway running through Portsmouth to Scott's Head and Bwetika to Roseau, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, it may be that some people are hallucinating. Madam Speaker, we listened to the opposition, and they have not been able to present to the Dominican people not one proposal for the advancement of our country. It shows a lack of preparation by men who have sat in opposition, some of them for the past 17 years, Madam Speaker, a government in waiting. Madam Speaker, the member for Roseau Central, I've been advised, is an economist. The senator is a planner. And Senator Thomas, I'm advised, I'm not sure, I'm subject to correction, that you are an architect or some designer of some sort, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, and that is why we must speak the truth. And, Madam Speaker, they need to tell the people of Dominica, why is it that after running through the streets of Dominica month after month, year after year, going around every nook and cranny, that they have failed in coming up with a proper plan to assist in the development of our country? Madam Speaker, you hear them talking as though they are the people who have all authority. Madam Speaker, I am always in La Plaine, and I move around La Plaine, and I'll tell you, with all of the challenges that we have in the southeast of Dominica, the last time that some of these members on the opposition side were in the southeast of Dominica was after Tropical Storm Erika. And they have never returned. And, Madam Speaker, a few of them, including the leader, were in La Plaine in February during a council election when their main man was raising monies which would eventually be used to purchase food for the demonstrators who were outside of Parliament, Madam Speaker. And today, Madam Speaker, he has washed his hand like Pontius Pilate. I know him not. But, Madam Speaker, that is a criterial attribute of the United Workers' Party. Use and abuse, and then I know him not. But, Madam Speaker, like a leech, I want to forewarn them, they should have known before. Like a leech, this gentleman will cling to you, and unless the last drop of blood has been sucked out of the life, Madam Speaker, he shall not release them, because he knows them, and he was with them, and shall be with them, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, let me say to the Dominican public that we must be wary. In fact, Madam Speaker, the Dominican public needs to know that all the opposition does is walk in and out of Parliament. And you saw it yesterday. There was a well-designed plan to walk out of Parliament. But, Madam Speaker, I think on Friday, but, Madam Speaker, wisdom prevailed. Your wisdom prevailed, Madam Speaker. And when they intended to walk out of Parliament on Friday, Madam Speaker, your wisdom prevailed. And so their plans were aborted yet another time. But, Madam Speaker, we are not ignorant of their devices. Madam Speaker, we see an opposition calling on the Dominican public time and time again to rise up against authority. But, Madam Speaker, at our schools, we call on children, we call on our young people to obey laws. How can we get our young people to obey laws, to be in conformity with rules and regulations. When at the highest level, Madam Speaker, we have men who will not subject themselves to the rules and regulations governing Parliament. Madam Speaker, how can a member, there is civility, Madam Speaker. I can disagree with you, Madam Speaker, but I can do so in a civil manner. But to look at the Speaker and blatantly disrespect the authority of the Speaker, is that the signal that we want to send to the young people? Senator, Honourable Member for Salisbury, is that the message we want to send to our young people? Don't touch me, don't touch me. But Madam Speaker, and Dominica is hearing him, Madam Speaker, while we sit here and we are dealing with the business of Parliament, you will see, Madam Speaker, that the opposition seats are practically empty. And Madam Speaker, all you have to do tonight is take a walk up Bath Road, go on to the basketball court, and Madam Speaker, when a member of Parliament is paid a parliamentary salary to do the work of the people while Parliament is in session, a member of Parliament is on the basketball court in Bath Road, on Bath Road, next to the cemetery, playing basketball, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a poor taste, and it is the wrong message we are sending to the... And then, Madam Speaker, here comes the same member, and with the face of an angel, he speaks about being concerned about the poor people of Dominica. What a shame. What a disgrace to the young people of Dominica, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me turn... And Madam Speaker, all over Dominica, even in Parliament, people are making excuses. As far as the Constitution is concerned, the man is sound. He's in his right mind and he's not sick, Madam Speaker. And so he ought to be doing the business of the people of Dominica. Madam Speaker, let me turn my attention now to the Ministry of Education. Because during the academic year 2016-2017, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development focused on a number of strategic imperatives for our country. Firstly, we looked at improving the quality and accountability of leadership and management, Madam Speaker, to improve the curriculum and strategies for assessment, and to provide, importantly, provide opportunities for technical, vocational education and training to strengthen our pastoral care, among many others. But, Madam Speaker, our strategies, our programs, and our projects are all geared at ensuring that we meet the interests and the needs of learners, Madam Speaker, while ensuring that they can attain their full potential and participate in today's knowledge-based society. Madam Speaker, as a government, as a ministry, our vision is that each child succeeds. Because gone are the days when we want to have a large percentage of young people graduating from high school, maybe not having completed third or fourth form, having dropped out, Madam Speaker. Unfortunately, a few always fall between the cracks. But we want to know that when these young men and women get to a position of leadership, that they will have got to a point where they can effectively contribute to national development. And so our mission is to educate and prepare all students to live productive lives in a complex and changing society. And so, Madam Speaker, over the period 2016 to 2017, there are some achievements that I want to highlight by the Ministry of Education that have significantly impacted on the lives of our students from early childhood through secondary, tertiary levels. Madam Speaker, first of all, I want to highlight some of the areas that we were able to work on during the school year. And we believe that in order for children to do well, in order to provide them with quality education, they must learn in a conducive environment. And so we focused on the rehabilitation and renovation of our school plants. We were able to carry out major repair works on 13 of our primary schools to the tune of $1,660,638.50. Madam Speaker, only on Saturday, some of my colleagues visited the Grandfont Primary School, and they had very high praise for the kind of transformation that had actually taken place at the Grandfont School plant. I want to thank the residents of Grandfont, the teachers, principal staff, because apart from Grandfont, Madam Speaker, we were able to work with 12 other schools, and I want to express profound gratitude to a number of organizations who were able to work with us, made invaluable contributions following Tropical Storm Erica. And some of these contributions were actually used in the last financial year. Madam Speaker, we had organizations like the Barbados Cares, the Association de Dominique de la Guadeloupe. We also had Coreca Guadeloupe and the British High Commission in London. Madam Speaker, I want to register our profound thanks to these organizations and also the President's Charities Foundation for ensuring that we were able, through their contributions, to rehabilitate a number of our schools. For example, the member for Corley Ho, we were able, through interventions by the Barbados Cares and the President's Charities Foundation, to execute works totaling $94,826.04 at the Corley Ho Primary School. We were able to resurface the Coolibee Stream multi-purpose hard court and renovate the school. And Madam Speaker, in addition to this, the Ministry of Education was able to carry out minor repair works at some of our primary schools and secondary schools, totaling $1.6 million. Madam Speaker, one of the areas that we are constantly aware of in delivering quality education is the infusion of ICT into the school's curriculum. The intention is to provide our schools with that kind of environment where students are able to access information at their fingertips. And Madam Speaker, we have ensured that we provide wireless connectivity in all our secondary and primary schools. And Madam Speaker, I want to commend our EMIS officers. We have 10 EMIS officers who have been providing support to these schools, ensuring that our teachers are able to input the data so that parents can get onto the system and track the performance, the attendance patterns of their children. Madam Speaker, in creating a supportive environment, key for us is the issue of school management and supervision. Because for us as government, for us in the Ministry of Education, importantly, it is about learning outcomes, student performance. And Madam Speaker, we have some strategies for improving the quality of teaching and learning that include, first of all, literacy and numeracy support for our schools. One of the exercises that we have carried out, Madam Speaker, based on the national assessment results over the past 5 years at grade 2 and grade 4 levels, we have identified a number of primary schools where there is a high percentage of students who are not performing at grade level. And Madam Speaker, the plan is to collaborate with those schools and ensure that we meet staff, we provide them with support, and ensure that the staff of the schools and the officers within the curriculum and measurement unit, that they are able to monitor the schools, monitor the performance of students, and ensure that we see some sort of improvement. Madam Speaker, in the area of special education, over the last year, we were able to provide support to a number of students and, importantly, parents at various schools with a view to improving the standard of performance. And, Madam Speaker, the guidance and counseling department within the ministry was able to go into the schools, work with no less than 135 of our students from 8 of our primary and secondary schools. We discussed the results of the schools, the students, and we make recommendation for remedial intervention. Madam Speaker, importantly, we need to note that during the last year, 2016-2017, that we were able through the CBM to, through the intervention of some $16,500 annually, we were able to assist a number of students within those schools. But, Madam Speaker, importantly for us, we recognize that in order for students to do well at the primary, secondary level, that there has to be a solid foundation. And so, in October of 2016, Cabinet approved the establishment of the Early Childhood Development Unit within the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development. And as a result, we have now increased our staff. We engaged 1 early childhood coordinator. We also engaged 2 assistant early childhood officers. And these individuals, along with 9 roving care givers, they are now able to go into the various school districts, work with students at the primary and at the preschool level and early childhood level, and ensure that we establish a solid foundation so that these children can do well at the primary level. Madam Speaker, we believe that professional training for our staff across the island, as far as early childhood is concerned, is key. And importantly, we are now training our roving caregivers in the whole issue of child assault prevention, because we believe that we have a responsibility to safeguard our young children. Madam Speaker, as we seek to improve our human capital through education and training, there is need for us to provide our youth with more opportunities for employment. And the Ministry of Education continues to expand technical vocational education and training. And Madam Speaker, you heard the Honourable Prime Minister in his presentation speak to the whole issue of technical vocational education and training and certification, and I will speak to this in a while. Madam Speaker, I'm pleased to inform this Honourable House that in October 2016, the first cohort of students received certification in the Caribbean Vocational Qualification CVQ examinations awarded by CXC. This, for us as ministry, is a breakthrough. We had, Madam Speaker, 15 students were certified, 9 in food preparation, and 6 in garment production. And Madam Speaker, in June of 2017, 11 students from the Goodwill Secondary School were also assessed by an external verifier from the Grenada National Training Agency. And Madam Speaker, we are happy that the following schools are now engaged in the delivery of civic cues in the following subject areas. We have the Dominica Grammar School delivering in food preparation and auto mechanics. And Madam Speaker, we have a state-of-the-art auto mechanics lab at Dominica Grammar School. The Goodwill Secondary School is the Center of Excellence for Garment Production, and Northeast Comprehensive School in crop production and auto mechanics. Madam Speaker, the facilities at 7 public secondary schools are now being upgraded, and this includes Castlebrook Secondary School, Honourable Senator, the Castlebrook Secondary School in cosmetology and garment. We have the Portsmouth Secondary School, plumbing and cosmetology and agriculture. We are expending some $60,000. The Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, auto mechanics and crop production, food and building technology, Northeast Comprehensive auto mechanics and crop production, and the Dominica Grammar School, auto mechanics facility, woods and crop production. Madam Speaker, the issue of health and safety is paramount for us, because we believe that we need to create a safe and healthy environment for the delivery of quality education. And we learned after Erica a tough lesson when most of our schools, although they were not impacted physically, were not able to operate because of the lack of drinking water. And so in collaboration with UNICEF, we have installed water tanks at all our schools at a cost of some $234,425. And Madam Speaker, I want to express profound gratitude to the Rotary Club of Dominica, who also contributed in supporting the effort of the establishment of probably the largest water tank on island at any of our schools, and that is the Dominica Grammar School. Madam Speaker, my colleague minister, the Minister for Health, you have heard him oftentimes speak of the school vision and BMI project, what we commonly call the I Can See Clearly Now program. Madam Speaker, this project targets all primary and secondary school students. The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development collaborated with the Ministry of Health. And Madam Speaker, again, this was brought about as a result of the vision of our Prime Minister. And I think that the people of Dominica need to appreciate the kind of work, the effort of our Prime Minister and the Cabinet of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Because, Madam Speaker, this thing did not just come because any government could or would have done it. It took time and effort and concern for the people of Dominica. And Madam Speaker, to date, through the I Can See, a total of 11,361 students have been seen. Madam Speaker, of this number, we have been advised that 9,208 needed further referrals. And of that figure, the 9,208, Madam Speaker, I am pleased to inform the people of Dominica that 953 of these students at the primary and secondary level have received prescription for eyeglasses free of cost to the families around Dominica. Now, Madam Speaker, you notice that from time to time I have to put these on and off. That's a sign of the aging process. But Madam Speaker, when you step into a classroom and you discover that there are children 9 and 10, 14 and 15 who are underperforming, and the families know that these children can do well, but they have a problem and nobody knows the problem. Madam Speaker, it was against this backdrop that the I Can See Clearly, this vision program, was conceptualized, because we recognized that our children can do well, but some of them were not doing well. And so the government, the Labour Party government, Madam Speaker, out of a heart of love for the people of Dominica, recognize that some families had challenges. And this is not America. This is not Switzerland. This is a small island state struggling against a number of natural disasters in the face of global challenges, and of course, remember, an opposition that will not join in the cause to ensure that we can develop our country. And so, Madam Speaker, what we have actually done, these pairs of spectacles that would cost the parents of Dominica thousands of dollars. It cost roughly $800 to $1,400 for a pair of spectacles. But, Madam Speaker, thanks to the Dominica Labour Party, 953 children now have a pair of eyeglasses free of cost, Madam Speaker. That is what Labour is all about, Madam Speaker. And, Madam Speaker, we believe that with all of that, that training is important. We must train our teachers. And, Madam Speaker, I will not go into the whole litany of training that we offer our teachers, but to say that as we speak, 25 principals, vice principals, and senior teachers who are pursuing master's degree in education, leadership, and management have successfully completed the program at the end of the second week of July 2017, and they are now awaiting their certificates free of cost, again, thanks to the Dominica Labour Party administration for recognizing that we need to assist our teachers and principals. Madam Speaker, some other major initiatives within the Ministry of Education is the Early Learners Program, what we refer to as the ELP. And, Madam Speaker, basically the ELP, or Early Learners Program, it involves 6 OECS island states, and, Madam Speaker, including Dominica. And the sum of $8,998,886 was provided by the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, for that specific purpose. And, Madam Speaker, of course, there is always a contribution made by every island state. And what we do, Madam Speaker, we are tackling the reading challenges of the children in the OECS, and more specifically Dominica. The whole issue of achievement levels in reading at the early level from grades K to 3 to ensure, Madam Speaker, that when these children get to high school, they can do well, they can succeed, and they don't have to drop out because they could not follow the syllabus, and so they became deviant and had to drop out at third form, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish also to advise that the Ministry of Education is presently working with the Dominica State College Faculty of Education on reforming the teacher preparation program. Madam Speaker, we have had a fundamental difficulty, but we recognize that this has to include reviewing college entry requirements, because we believe that the courses offered and the training modalities have to be adapted to meet our needs. And so, Madam Speaker, we are working with the Dominica State College, and we expect within quick time that we will see, and that is under the ELP program, we will see tangible and visible changes in the delivery of education, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we also have the Global Partnership for Education, funded by what we call the GPE, funded by the OECS Education Improvement Project. And, Madam Speaker, again, some $2 million has been allocated to each of the islands of the OECS, Dominica included, and we are working vigorously at ensuring that we address the issue of curriculum and assessment, teacher professional development, school leadership, and accountability. Because, Madam Speaker, at some of our schools, we have a serious problem as far as school leadership and accountability is concerned. But we are working with our schools and also in the area of project implementation and monitoring and evaluation. Madam Speaker, let me say that within the Ministry of Education, we have accomplished quite a lot within the past year, despite the challenges of the previous year. In fact, the Ministry of Education is currently working to ensure that all of our national activities will be based on the outputs that we have predetermined so that our action plan fits snugly into the national plan for education in Dominica. Madam Speaker, one area of my ministry that somehow gets lost with the public is that of the Dominica Library and Information Service. The Library and Information Service continues to develop a culture of reading across the nation, and we are focusing on improvement on literacy and, importantly, internet access, engagement of communities, and the preservation of our records. Madam Speaker, you would have heard one of the members on our side allude to the fact that the opposition does not read. Now, this is not limited only to the opposition. We have a problem here in Dominica, Madam Speaker. We do not have a reading public, so that people get onto the internet, but they don't read, they just cut and paste. But, Madam Speaker, through the Library and Information Service, over the last year, we were able to establish, see the establishment of a preservation, a digitalization lab at the National Archives, and the commencement of the digitization of records for digital preservation and enhancing online access to Dominica's documentary heritage. Madam Speaker, for many years, we've been talking about digitalizing or digitizing the archives. Thankfully, we were able to engage a gentleman, and as I speak, we are addressing that issue. Importantly, too, Madam Speaker, we now have improved internet access at all of our public libraries. We were able to achieve this through a donation of some 20 desktop computers and other equipment to the tune of some $66,322 by the National Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, the NTRC. Madam Speaker, I want to move now to the issue of human resource development, because you would have heard the Prime Minister in his address speak to the whole issue of human resource development. Madam Speaker, we believe that human resource development is key to national development. And through our scholarship and award program or scheme, the Ministry of Education continues its commitment to providing financial support for students undertaking tertiary education in Dominica. Madam Speaker, it is evident that the Labour Party administration has distinguished itself as the education government. Yeah. In fact, Madam Speaker, the government of Dominica, contrary to what the opposition claims, because of the good name that we have established with institutions and governments around the globe, Madam Speaker, and I see the member for Marigot smiling away, because he recognizes that today scholarships can be given even to NGOs because the Labour Party administration has set the platform, Madam Speaker. And we view the issue of human resource development seriously because we cannot go down the road that our grandparents went, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, for us, whether the scholarships, they come annually from the People's Republic of China or the Kingdom of Morocco or the Commonwealth Scholarship Commissioner from Cuba or the Organization of American States, or whether they are from the Indian government through JICA, Madam Speaker, we make it our business as an administration that there be equity, Madam Speaker, in the distribution of those scholarships. Madam Speaker, as Minister for Education, I ensure that annually every constituency in Dominica is given an equal opportunity at sending these young people out to study. So that, Madam Speaker, my colleague from Petit Savant would well understand that if we are offered 10 scholarships by the Cuban government, he cannot get 2, Madam Speaker. It is only natural. And he cannot take 3. And even if he does make a request, Madam Speaker, he would be given 1 because we give a fair opportunity to every young person in Dominica to develop himself academically and create for himself and his family a sustainable livelihood. And Madam Speaker, that is the difference between the Labour Party administration and the United Workers' Party, Team Dominica Incorporated, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in 2016, 2017, Madam Speaker, from the People's Republic of China, we got 11 scholarships and 13 to Cuba. We have the Island Scholarship and the FOC Harris Scholarship, Madam Speaker. And the National Performance Awards, we had 4 of them. And Madam Speaker, the Commonwealth Scholarships 2, Ross University, Madam Speaker, 4, and All Saints and Cramblin 23 and Midwestern 44, and the list goes on and on, Madam Speaker, because we believe that the only way out of poverty and ignorance is through education of the masses, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, our Human Resource Assistance Program for the year under review, the government approved roughly 726,013.49. Madam Speaker, 11.7 million. This is unprecedented in the history of Dominica. And you hear the opposition saying that the government is doing nothing for the young people of Dominica. Madam Speaker, well, I understand what they mean by nothing, because their fear is these young people, when they are well educated, they will be able to make a judgment call when the time comes, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in 2017, a total of 2016-2017, 263 scholarships and special awards. These are the students receiving stipends, Madam Speaker. And the assisted students, Madam Speaker, we assisted 352 students. Madam Speaker, giving a total of 615 students. That's a 10% increase over the previous year. A total of $14.7 million. And the FS is sitting there, and I'm sure that the FS feels good that we are addressing the needs of our people where they feel it most. Because, Madam Speaker, let's understand, many of us, Madam Speaker, had to take loans to pay our college and university. And for those whose parents did not have a certificate of title or some good godfather who would stand at the bank, put in the collateral, Madam Speaker, these young, intelligent people were not able to obtain a university degree. But today, the Labour government has opened the door of education. And Madam Speaker, as Minister, I'm happy when I go to Grand Bay and I hear, Mr. Saint-Jean, Minister Saint-Jean, I just came back from studying and I'm looking for a job. And I say to them, don't look for a job, but help us to create some jobs, Madam Speaker. That is the Labour brand, where we educate people who can assist in the process of national development. Madam Speaker, that is not all. Because we believe that it is important to note that many students at schools in the United States, the United Kingdom, in Canada, and other countries have benefited from our financial assistance program. And Madam Speaker, we assist students at UWI, Dominica Open Campus, at UWI, Keville, Mona, St. Augustine's, at Monroe College. Madam Speaker, all over the globe, we are assisting students, Dominican youth, to ensure that we fully develop the people of this country. And Madam Speaker, as I say this, I heard one of the members of the opposition say that we keep moving the goalpost as far as attaining our objective of training our young people so that we will achieve 100%, or every home in Dominica would have a university graduate. But Madam Speaker, as the years go by, we keep the population that would enter into university keeps increasing. So after 5 years, a student who was a fifth former would have completed state college and now is prepared to enter into university. And Madam Speaker, let me say, while we may not have achieved 100% success rate, we are not far from that, Madam Speaker. But importantly, Madam Speaker, not only do we have one graduate in a number of households, but we have 2 and 3 university graduates. And thank God today, the families are still debt-free as far as putting their certificates of title and taking these loans at the bank is concerned. Madam Speaker, it takes only a caring government to ensure that these needs are met. Madam Speaker, as we look over the horizon onto 2017-2018, I want to say that the government scholarship program shall continue into the next financial year. Friendly governments continue to express interest in offering scholarships to this government, and that is expected to increase the intake of students. And of course, Madam Speaker, you heard the Honourable Prime Minister and Minister of Finance indicate our intention to continue to provide training in the vocational field to boost technical abilities of the youth of Dominica, to provide opportunities to those who wish to pursue the studies in the technical areas. Madam Speaker, however, it is important to note that we will tweak the program slightly. And as you heard earlier in the budget presentation, we have a number of people who have achieved their first degree, so now we're looking towards post-grad. And in the new year, the ministry will introduce a standardized online application form. And a new information management system will be launched. This, Madam Speaker, will enhance the effectiveness of our operations. And the unit will be better able to capture all the relevant data, and in a more comprehensive and accurate manner, we will be able to generate the information using a computerized system. Madam Speaker, our national priority list of training areas will soon be made public. We have already written to the stakeholders. We have written to a number of associations and institutions. We have asked them to submit the list of priorities that they would have as far as training is concerned. The information is being collated by the Ministry of Education, and pretty soon we will publish the national list or priority list of training areas to the public. Madam Speaker, a policy, importantly, a policy on bonding of students receiving financial assistance will be rolled out in this new financial year. We believe that if the state finances your education, that you have a responsibility to serve the state, whether you be in or out. We have no problem, I have no problem with people wanting to work out there, maybe remain in Canada or the United States, but that somehow or the other, whether it is through some summer program, they must come back to Dominica and give to the land that was able to give them an education. Madam Speaker, we have friends in the diaspora, we have supporters. Of course, we know that there are some who are attempting to disenfranchise them, but we believe that this is an important sector, and we will capitalize upon it.
You have 4 minutes left.
Well, Madam Speaker, yes, I need 15 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I move that the Honourable Member be given an additional 15 minutes to complete his presentation.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the Minister be given a further 15 minutes to complete his contribution. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, colleagues. Madam Speaker, the performance of our students at the CSEC Caribbean examinations is noteworthy. A total of 834 candidates entered to write the CSEC exams in 2016 in 33 subject areas. Some 6,389 subject entries. Madam Speaker, I wish to report here that we had a record increase in overall pass rate for grade 1s. We had 111 grade 1s. In 2016, 81.7% over our best, 81.7% pass rate. That has been our best performance in the past 5 years. And Madam Speaker, compared to 77.3% in the previous year. In fact, Madam Speaker, we were able to do better than a number of our counterparts in the region. Madam Speaker, quickly I want to say that as far as our safety, social safety nets are concerned, we continue to ensure that our safety net programs are implemented, managed through the Education Trust Fund administered by the board, and I want to thank the board for working with us. Our school transfer grant, Madam Speaker, of $500 per child will continue. Last year, we expended some $405,000 to 800 students. Examination fees of some $29,000 was paid for students in need. We will continue our uniform allowance, and in the last year, Madam Speaker, we spent some $449,000 providing uniform assistance to students. We will continue, Madam Speaker, with our school registration fee, or the payment of school registration fees, the transportation allowance in some cases, because while we transport our students in the out district, there are some who are not captured, and through the trust fund, we expended some $41,100 assisting the students. Madam Speaker, during the year under review, an amount of $1,941,652 was paid to 94 bus drivers from across the island to transport students to our various primary and secondary schools. Madam Speaker, we do not believe in a mass transit system. We believe in empowering our bus drivers who can earn a decent living.
That's it.
Madam Speaker, the government owns and operates 9 coaster buses transporting roughly 400 students. And these are managed at the local government level, Madam Speaker, because we believe, Honourable Minister for Social Services, that some of our village councils are doing a very good job managing those resources. Of course, we have to be on the lookout for the people who get into councils with the hope of embezzling those monies, Madam Minister. And we must be very careful, we must be vigilant, because heaven knows where these monies can end up and in the hands of which people it can end up, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, we do not harbor thieves, we do not harbor criminals. We are very careful as to who we associate with, but there are some in Dominica who harbor thieves and imposters and impersonators, Madam Speaker, and we must be wary of those individuals, Madam Speaker. The school feeding program shall continue, Madam Speaker. Our textbook distribution scheme shall continue. And as we look towards the coming year, we will continue our capital works on Thibault Primary, a new school. Designs are being prepared for Goodwill Secondary School. Our maintenance program will continue at no less than 11 of our primary schools. Madam Speaker, we are working on the development of an education sector plan. And Madam Speaker, we are placing serious emphasis on the issue of certification of TVET, CVQ teachers as assessors, internal and external verifiers, and we are looking at expanding our offerings within the CVQ program. Madam Speaker, because we believe that if tourism is to take off, if the various construction fields are to take off, Madam Speaker, we not only need people who can do the job, but people who are certified, and that certificate has currency not only locally, but around the region. We cannot allow people to come from Trinidad and Barbados to take those skilled jobs, so we are bent on ensuring that our people are certified. Madam Speaker, I go quickly to the La Plaine constituency, and let me say, Madam Speaker, that in the 2014 elections, in my constituency manifesto, Madam Speaker, I said to my constituents, my plans for the La Plaine constituency are to improve your lives, Madam Speaker. And that you did. I am therefore asking you, and I quote, Madam Speaker, I am therefore asking you for your vote so that I can continue to represent your interests and work for your betterment. Madam Speaker, I am indeed pleased. Dr. Daru said he was proud, but I am pleased, Madam Speaker, to report that despite the terrible setback that we suffered in the southeast of Dominica, in the La Plaine constituency, during the passage of Tropical Storm Erica, Madam Speaker, over the last year, significant investments in these communities have transformed the physical landscape. It has transformed the life and the perception of the people of the La Plaine constituency and the Southeast. Well, of course, Madam Speaker, there are some whose perceptions and whose lives may never be changed except for divine intervention, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, in education, in the area of education, we continue to ensure quality education for all Southeast children, from Grand Fond to and Madam Speaker, I speak here for the people of the Grand Fond constituency, Montjean Rivière Syriac, in the absence of their PAL rep. Madam Speaker, from Grand Fond to Delis, we have expended $365,000 to upgrade the Font Thomas School, the Delis Primary School, Madam Speaker. In fact, most people who drive in the area, they ask, what university is this, Madam Speaker? And that's what the people of Delis have right now. We continue to provide bus transportation, not only for secondary school students, but for the students of Buetica, who must be bused into Delis, and the children of Delis. We have ensured that every child in the Southeast, and more so the La Plaine constituency, have access to secondary school. Madam Speaker, let me say that education is a process that must be stress-free, and not just stress-free for the children by providing them the support, but importantly, the parents. And that is why we continue to provide transportation, we continue to provide textbooks and uniform for all students, no matter their class, creed, color, or political ideology in the La Plaine constituency. But, Madam Speaker, I want to implore the students of the La Plaine constituency of the Southeast to take advantage of the educational opportunities that are available to our students. Take advantage of the Dominica State College and out-of-state universities, Madam Speaker, especially our young males, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, my open door policy continues to target everybody within the constituency, irrespective of their orientation or their perspective or their ideology, Madam Speaker. As far as employment creation is concerned, through the small business, Madam Speaker, we have created employment for scores of people. In fact, Madam Speaker, some $538,133.90 was injected into small businesses in Daly's, Boetica, and La Plaine, touching the lives of 112 business owners in the constituency. In the area of agriculture, agriculture continues to play a key role in the Southeast communities in generating income for families within the La Plaine constituency. And as parliamentary representative and a farmer, Madam Speaker, I continue to facilitate the provision of farm supplies to farmers groups in the 3 villages. Madam Speaker, I want to make special mention of groups like the Daily Stoloma Women in Action. Mr. Minister for Agriculture, an exceptional group of 28 women and 2 men in every respect. And Madam Speaker, a young man, we commonly refer to him as Big G, Mr. John, who has gone into pepper production. And he's not just producing the raw material, but he's actually processing the pepper. And to date, he has 14 varieties of pepper sauce. And Madam Speaker, these 2 entities are not just household names locally, but on the regional market, you will find Big G's Pepper, and you will find the Toloman Farin from the Daewoo Group in Daly's. Madam Speaker, I hear people talk of the National Employment Program. Madam Speaker, this is another avenue for employment creation. And Madam Speaker, I don't care what they say in the La Plaine constituency, we have exploited the National Employment Program. And currently, 88 individuals are under the program. And I want to say, Madam Speaker, this is not just beautification and cleanup, Madam Speaker, because most of the times the opposition cause people to believe that the National Employment Program is geared just towards beautification and cleanup. Madam Speaker, in the La Plaine constituency, we have office assistants. We have tellers at the banks and credit unions. We have education mentors. We have engaged a young lady at the ophthalmology department, at the a Cuban graduate, at the PMH, Madam Speaker. So where are they going with this talk of cleanup and beautification? That's one component of the national employment. And Madam Speaker, in the area of housing and sanitation, one of the problems we have had in La Plaine constituency is that of poor housing and sanitation. In fact, Madam Speaker, in the 2008-2009 country poverty assessment, Boetica was highlighted as one of the poorest communities in Dominica. Madam Speaker, that is the legacy of a UWP parliamentary representative for 15 years. But today, when one step into Boetica, Madam Speaker, Boetica is a changed community. We have totally eradicated pit latrines in Boetica. In fact, there were 165 households with pit latrines in the 3 villages. Madam Speaker, today, 91 of those households now have modern washroom facilities at a cost of $1,001,000, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the onslaught on the poor housing stock in the constituency continues. And Madam Speaker, this year we will have a slight change to the program. You will recall, Madam Speaker, that last year in the La Plaine constituency, you would have heard much talk about 7 model houses that I built in La Plaine. They were called the Dashing Houses, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, this revolutionized housing in Dominica, the approach to addressing the housing issues. Madam Speaker, I'm pleased to announce that as we speak, a contract has been issued to a gentleman in Daly's to build a model 2-bedroom dashing house for a young single-parent mother in Upper La Roche, Madam Speaker. And come this Christmas, she will be dashing through La Roche, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for elderly support and health, Madam Speaker, the Lamplain constituency, and Madam Speaker, you need to hear this, because I know you want to live to 100. Madam Speaker, the Lamplain constituency boasts the highest number of centenarians on the island, Honourable Minister. And it may be the Minister of Health says per capita globally, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there must be something good that we are doing in Lamplain. No wonder, Madam Speaker, the members of the opposition are afraid of Lamplain. Madam Speaker, so they send their representative and then they disown him. So the United States doesn't want him, they don't want him, and now Lamplain doesn't want him, Madam Speaker. And I pity the young man, Madam Speaker, because he's human after all, having done all the dirty work for them. But Madam Speaker, 5 centenarians.
You
Madam
can't
Speaker,
say
we
that.
have
You can't
Matopi.
say that. You can't say
I
that.
withdraw that, Madam Speaker.
Please.
I withdraw. I pull out. I take out. Madam Speaker, we have Matopi, centenarian, 105 years. We have Mont Frazilia, 104 years. We have Mont Sissi, 102 years. We have Molly in Delis. Now these 3 are in Lamplain. And then we have Molly in Delis, 102. And we have Mado, 102 years. But Madam Speaker, significantly, they all are females. So the males have to be careful, because there is something the females are doing that we are not doing.
Or maybe that they're not.
Madam Speaker, the chances of you living to 100 is very, very high. Madam Speaker, the Yes We Care will continue, and the non-pensionable allowance for 70 and above will continue. And Madam Speaker, let me sound a warning to the people who have been preying on the ignorance of the elderly people of Dominica. Enough is enough. When these elderly people are given $300, do not come close to their doors. We will not pay for the mouth of lying men, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Lamplain Health Center, as you heard the minister said, is done for serious modification. In fact, we are going, Lamplain Health District has been the best health district in Dominica. And I commend the DMO and people like Nurse Vigilant and the team that's working. And Madam Speaker, I'm quoting the Minister for Health. And in recognition of that, Lamplain has been identified.
You have 1 minute
Yes,
left.
Madam Speaker, as one of the areas for the Smart Center. Smart Center. Madam Speaker, and come August 1, work will commence. In youth development, you heard the minister speak to the lighting of the playing field. And Madam Speaker, don't let them know that I told you that. But Madam Speaker, guess what? Today, the very people who said that Peter had killed spots in Lamplain, they have gone to DFA and they have said to DFA, the Lamplain playing field is of national standard, so we want national games. And come this August, national games will be convened at the Lamplain playing field, all because of the work of the Dominica Labour Party and the power for Lamplain. Madam Speaker, I can speak to road rehabilitation in the Lamplain constituency, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, our roadway is experiencing tremendous change. And between Larond and Delis, we have an intervention of $6 million at various points. We have the BNTF project that was, well, just about completed in Delis, in Buetica, the BAM project in Delis, Madam Speaker, a farm access road. And come this year, Madam Speaker, this new fiscal year, Lamplain is done for $1.4 million water rehabilitation, and so is Buetica. Madam Speaker, all in all, we see
your time is up.
Great times ahead for the constituency. The Delis police station shall be renovated, the Lamplain Health Center, the Buetica Health Center. Madam Speaker, it means that the people recognize that Labour is working, their power-up is working, and come what may, the people of the Lamplain constituency will ensure that they stay with Petter Saint-Jean and the Dominica Labour Party.